Welcome to the country that exists but doesn't exist. Some people are scared to stay here.
When you cross the border, you will see that there is a huge tank.
A statue of Lenin. Good afternoon from the 1980s and welcome to the country that exists but doesn't exist. Welcome to Transnistria. This morning we got the marshuka from the capital of Moldova, Chisinau, to Transnistria. This is a country that has its own flag, its own national anthem, its own parliament, its own money, but the rest of the world do not recognize it as a country, and it is sort of stuck in Soviet Union times. I'm so excited to explore this place.
We're staying right near the Dniester river, which is actually really pretty. There's some little beaches along here as well, and
I'm not sure I'd swim in it.
No, I definitely wouldn't swim in it, but we are staying in one of the coolest places ever, which we will show you later, because obviously we need to get out and explore TIRASPOL.
Literally the first thing you need to do when you arrive in Transnistria is quickly change your money into the Transnistrian ruble, and the only place you can do that is here, because this money is not recognised anywhere, and for around £1 English you get 19 Transnistrian rubles. So you need to do this as soon as you cross the border. Do this. There is an actual border. It felt like entering a real country. Everything feels to me like a real country so far. There has been rumours that sometimes they'll turn you away. A lot of people only come here on tours to check the place out, but we're like, we got to stay here. We were told that some people are scared to stay here overnight and they only do tours. We're like, no, we're doing this properly. But from our accommodation, we're literally right next to the main street, which is the 25th of October Street, and that is literally where you're going to find everything in this country. Not a country? I don't know.
Walking around TIRASPOL, or mainly just down the main street, it is so clean, and it's actually really quiet. There's no traffic and there's hardly any people walking around, especially at one of the main sites to see, which is the tank memorial. It was an actual tank used during the war, and it's to commemorate obviously the victims, the soldiers that lost their lives, and it's sort of just situated right here in the big square. And if you want to see a tank that isn't a memorial, can't even say the word, that isn't a memorial, then when you cross the border, you will see that there is a huge tank that might still be in use, along with lots of military arms, let's say.
It's actually really eerie. It's like so open planned, but there's like no one walking along the streets. Obviously people are probably at work. This is like everyone's getting on with normal life, but opposite the tank you've got the 1992 war memorial, the Transnistria war. So when Moldova was one, it still is classed as one. Transnistria is classed by everyone else as part of Moldova still, but in 1990 Moldova wanted to stop or sort of ban Russian speaking, and this area that was very pro-Soviet, pro-Russia, because it has a lot of ethnic Russians here, like, no, we're not having that. So they declared independence.
It was the last straw, wasn't it?
It was the last straw. They declared independence, and then a couple of years after that the civil war broke out, which actually killed up to 1,000 people. So they got their so-called independence, but no one recognises it still today as a country.
It wouldn't be a Soviet city without a war memorial, and there is the eternal flame, which is actually pretty unique. This is for the unnamed soldier, and there's actually an inscription over there that says your name is unknown but the deed is immortal, and then all the way along you just have all of the named soldiers that lost their lives. But this is just in, like we said, the big open square, and there's literally nobody around but us.
This place seriously is a living Soviet museum. Behind me, that is the presidential palace. It is your typical oversized Soviet building, it really is, but people come to see this. This is a statue of Lenin. I mean, yeah, that is just random anyway, having a statue of Lenin, right? There was around 5,000, I know, in Ukraine, and all of them were destroyed, apart from 2 that were left in Chernobyl, which makes sense, probably can't get to them. But here, it sits proudly in front of the presidential palace. And on top of the palace, you've got both the Transnistrian flag and the Russian flag. Even though Russia doesn't even recognize it here, as a state, it's so confusing. And of course, walking around, you find the larders, but you'll just see here on the number plate, there it is, the flag of Transnistria. See, it's not all grey.
No, it's actually really green, and we said that everything is on the 25th of October Street. We've literally not even walked anywhere. We've just been crossing the road from side to side, and you come to the big square, Surovov Square. It's named after the guy that founded Tiraspol, which is pretty cool, and it's just basically a big open green square.
It is, and you know, behind, somewhere over here, they got mini golf.
We could play mini golf. Or would you rather have a beer?
I'd rather, I want to have, I think they have their own beer. I need to try.
Oh, we need to double check.
Transnistrian beer. Nazdravie.
Our new word, how exciting. So actually, they speak Russian here. So they don't have their own language, but they speak Russian. So that is why we are saying Nazdravie. And I think our pronunciation is going to get pretty good. Although we can't read it, we should be able to say it. But of course, it was time for a beer. And we've come into La Vida, which is on the main street. And we have a local beer. It's kind of a new beer back in, I think, 2018 it says on the glass.
Trying to break the market, but it's a Transnistrian beer.
Made here. It's a good beer. I like it.
See, as you walk further up the 25th of October Street, which is the main street, it sort of slowly becomes more and more modern. You notice more modern buildings. Obviously there where we had the really nice modern restaurant for I suppose a modern beer, a craft modern beer. It is not completely what I expected. What I've read online says, oh, everything is Soviet, but there's a lot of new buildings going up. We've just walked past a huge new, like, 5-star hotel that is being built. A lot of it by Sheriff. Sheriff is like a huge company that has like an influence in government. They own supermarkets, they own restaurants, they own petrol stations, and of course they own the football team, which is actually qualified for the Champions League, the European Cup, for the first time in its history, and I think is the first team in Moldovan history to qualify. As you walk up the main road, it kind of gets kind of like more modern, and then it goes back. Bosh, slap in the face, Soviet. But this is actually a prettier Soviet building of the ones that we've seen. Obviously it has the flag, which actually makes it look really nice, and it's all white. It's unusual for the Soviet buildings to have been white. The house of the Soviets. The house of the Soviets, in other words, the City Hall. And it's a pretty City Hall. It's a random name for the City Hall though, isn't it? The House of the Soviets. Yeah, I mean, it's joined by yet another Lenin statue. There he is, just his head this time.
We would find two within about a mile of each other, but there you have it.
Oh my god. Whatever they say about Transnistria, the people that live here are unbelievable. That is now twice that we've been outside one of the, let's say, sights to see in front of the more moderate Soviet building, the City Hall, House of the Soviets, and a lady who was actually working in there comes running out and asks to take a picture. You can see us filming. She's like, oh, let me take it. Well, obviously in Russian, saying, let me get a photo of you two in front of it with the camera. So nice. Honestly, the people, incredible. But we need some food. Had our beer, we've done a lot of walking up and down the main street. I think once we've had something to eat, we need to head out of the main street to see how like the locals live, because they are so nice. Transnistria. It's turned into a bit of a beer tour. We have come into Mafia, but I think it's Mafia. It's like 2 in 1. It says Tuscany and it also says Casta, but I think it is Mafia, which is actually a Ukrainian chain.
We were so confused.
We were so confused finding this place, but it looks really nice. And this is the official beer. I think it's Old Fortress, which is CK in Cyrillic in Russian, and it is really nice. Dates back to 1860, and I think you can actually do brewery tours if you have more time in Transnistria. I tell you what though, so much more modern than I expected.
So
much. Tomorrow we're like heading off the beaten track. We're going to try and find some like hidden gems, some local gems.
This might come of a surprise to you, but here in Transnistria, the people are actually really good at making sushi. Now, me and Matt don't eat fish, so we had a pizza first, and we ordered a vegetarian
How random
sushi.
They're experts at sushi. Every restaurant that you go past, it says sushi, and there's, I don't know why are they experts at running sushi?
I have no, there was no, I tried to Google it, there was no explanation, but, oh my god, I've not used chopsticks for years, but look at this, it's so cute.
It does look really good.
And we have, like I said, the vegetarian sushi because we don't eat fish. Like, do you just eat sushi in one?
Go in, go on. How is it? I mean, it's rolled well because they're good at rolling.
It's really, really sweet and very nice. And we are back. I am stuffed. I thoroughly enjoyed trying vegetarian sushi and pizza.
Very well rolled.
Yeah, really it was rolled really, really well. But welcome to our capsule. I mean, it's not much of a room tour. This is our capsule.
How cool is this?
The coolest lights. We have a fold-away table, our little blind. We have USB pockets. We even have all these. Look at that.
Oh, that is cool. And I'm not being funny, who would expect this in Transnistria?
It's very, I'm changing colours. It is super unexpected here in Transnistria, and it's such a nice touch. It just shows that things are changing and it is becoming more modern than anyone would have expected.
Oh my god, this is so cool. Look, we're just changing lights as we go, and then we've got like the fan here. Is the fan on?
Yeah.
Fan on, little USB, card, clock, safety box, and the rest of it. Hold on, what colour do I want? Yeah, I'm going with that. That looks so cool, and I think we're in Mars. They've all got different names. You feel like you're in outer space.
I do, especially with all of the changing lights, but this has actually only been open a few days. It's called the Capsule Hotel, and yes, this is our little capsule, and it's only been open a few days. It's kind of like, I read somewhere the other day where the president wanted to get in more tourists, and I feel like things like this, with initiatives like this, are ways to get tourists in. I mean, we thought, oh my god, we could stay in a capsule in Transnistria. How unusual.
This is ridiculous. It is so spacious. I did not expect to be sitting in a pod capsule in Tiraspol. It is a complete contradiction to everything that you expect. Of course it is what it is. It really is a Soviet museum. You walk along the street, some of the things like, whoa, the Lenin statues, the buildings, the architecture, the cars, the larders, of course, but the people are what make it. Obviously it's a breakaway state, it's not accepted as a country, but if you see the people going about their daily life, it's real, right? Pinch them, they're real people. It seems like it is a country. They're getting on with their lives. A lot of them seem happy enough. I don't know if this is coming from me, I don't know the ins and outs of it. Any information I've got is from online, so I wanted to do it myself rather than have a tour from someone from Chisinau, because maybe they'll be slightly biased and give the Moldovan point of view. I wanted to find out the point of view of Transnistria. But the people are amazing. They even gave me, look, little magnet of the football team. This was a lady in the restaurant wanted to get talking to us because they're not used to tourists. Cool first day, really cool first day. We saw like the main sights of the main street. We're going to get off the beaten track a little bit tomorrow, try and find out how the locals live, try some more traditional food. I'm excited. Switching off from my pod in Transnistria. Crazy. See you in the next one.